안녕하세요. 저는 제니퍼입니다. 저는 2018년에 한국에 왔어요. So my name is Jennifer. I'm from the UK and I came to Korea in 2018. I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2020 in February. So before that I had 2 years in Korea where everything was great, and then suddenly things started to change. But I moved out from my home a long time ago to go and study, and it was only in his recent years that he was diagnosed. So I didn't actually experience what diabetes was like for my grandfather. So it was just this name of an illness that I didn't really know anything about, and it was just something that old people would get, and that was all I knew. When I was diagnosed, it was a very big shock for me, especially because I'm active. I train Taekwondo pretty much 6 days a week, but suddenly I felt really weak and I couldn't see very well, and I couldn't even walk up the stairs from the subway. And I remember one day where I was completely dizzy just walking up the stairs, and that was when a coworker told me to go and get everything checked at the doctor's. So I had a blood test and everything was great, except my blood sugar, which was 365 without any food. Yes. It was very high, and that was fasting blood sugar, like first thing in the morning without food. So at that time, the doctor only told me it was type 2 diabetes, to not eat any carbohydrates and to come back in 2 weeks. And they just gave me medicine. I forgot which medicine, but they didn't explain anything else. They just said diabetes and to come back in 2 weeks. But luckily I did my own research, and that there's only one test to do to check if it's type 1 or type 2. So I went to another doctor and I pushed for that test, and that's when I found out I was type 1 diabetic. I did at the beginning. I had to again do a lot of research by myself, because when I was first diagnosed, when it was confirmed, I was only given a prescription for insulin and told to just go to the pharmacy. They didn't tell me how to inject, what an injection even was. They told me to take 10 units of insulin a day, but they didn't check my weight or my activity or my food. And so by the second day, I was already in hypo. Then I had to balance my own insulin level at the time. So to make it easier at the start, I ate low-carb food, almost no carbs at all, and learned how much bolus I needed, how much insulin I needed for separate food. But after a few months, it was very hard. So then I started to just experiment. So if I want to eat this kind of food, how much insulin do I need? And if I want to eat this type of food, how much insulin do I need if I want to go to training afterwards? So I spent a good 6-8 months just experimenting with different food, and now I'm pretty comfortable with eating anything. It's mainly difficult when I want to go and eat with my friends. If we go to restaurants, pretty much everything is rice-based, and I found I can eat pasta all right. My level, I can manage it pretty well, but with rice, it is very difficult for me. I find I spike very quickly and I cannot match it with insulin. I've not figured it out. I can eat pizza, but I cannot eat rice. So that's still very hard for me. So most of the time, like I work in a kindergarten, and most of the time I will make my own food. So I just make vegetables, fried vegetables, and I will only eat side dishes so that I don't need to eat rice, just because it is easier to manage. At the weekend, when I don't have training and when I'm at home managing my glucose level, then I will experiment with some rice as well. Like I really like bibimbap, but I can't eat it very often. So. I do like spicy food. Before I got diagnosed, I really liked eating ramen and like cheese ramen and tteokbokki too. But now I don't eat it anymore. So now mainly like bibimbap, and I try to have less rice. and I love tofu. So any tofu-based food is great. I remember like soju. I know soju.
Do you like that?
I do like it, yes.
Oh, really?
And I found out they recently brought out a mint soju, so that one's very nice. But I don't drink very often, so it's just occasionally, and that's still a little bit hard to manage. That one's nice. And makgeolli, I liked it, but I've not tried it since I was diagnosed because I think it's rice-based, so I didn't want to experiment with that yet. Today just fried vegetables with some tomato sauce. And we had some bean sprouts as side dishes and like some seaweed. And I can eat the soup as well. And it just means when I'm at work, it is easier to manage my sugar level. I can predict it better, and I don't have to run out suddenly because of hypo or anything, so I can continue teaching the children without any problems. So it is not exciting food, but just to make it easier, I eat this way during the week, and at the weekend I treat myself to other food. The worst part was at the start, because I was by myself. I didn't get a lot of instructions by the first doctor, and in fact, when they gave me the prescription, I didn't even know what to do. They just told me to go to the pharmacy. The first pharmacy didn't even have insulin, so they just told me you can't get this here. And I didn't know, well, what do I do now? Like, where do I go? And they just said, well, not here. I'm like, that doesn't help me, that's very hard. And 2 years ago, my Korean was a lot worse than now. So I was really shocked at the start. And luckily my Korean friends came to help me, took me to another pharmacy and explained to me what to do. And then just being alone was really hard. Like, I had no friends with diabetes. I knew nobody that even had it. I searched everywhere on the internet. I found a great community like, in Canada and America and everywhere. And I just thought, why is there nothing in Korea? But there was. It's just that in Korea you use Naver a lot, and I didn't know how to use Naver. It didn't translate. So it took me such a long time to find a Korean diabetes community. But once I found it, it was like, yeah, they just helped me so much. I was so grateful to find people that can understand, explain all the processes to me, and yeah, they always help me so much because they explain it again. They write it down, and if I don't understand it, they explain it again to me. Well, you can go there. This means that. It means this, and yes, it has been so great finding these people. So, yeah, it's like I learned more with my own research and the books that I read and the articles I found online. It was almost dangerous to just say to a person that doesn't know what to do, like, just take this insulin to this high level. Like I said, they told me to take 10 units at the start. I later found out I needed about 3 units at the time. So it's like 3 times the amount my body needed. So by the second day, I pretty much crashed and I didn't know what to do. So that was scary. But in a way, it is good because now I learned how to research and how to find out information for myself. But I do think there should be more training available to newly diagnosed people. And I remember at the time as well, I asked for the communities and the contact information. And I said, like, I know there won't be anything in English, but there must be something in Korean. Like, where are the communities? Who do I need to contact? And the doctors all didn't know. So even if they had leaflets or something that says, there's one community, here's another community, here are the people, go to this website. If that was available to newly diagnosed people, that would help a lot more, I think, because dealing with diabetes alone is very hard, but together it's possible. I think mainly talk to the people around you. Don't hide diabetes and deal with it. I hear a lot of people, they don't want to be weak or they're scared of the consequences, so they don't deal with diabetes. Try and hide it or just pretend it doesn't exist, and it has such bad consequences. So it's like, look after your health. It doesn't matter what other people think because your health is more important. So find the people that are like you, find people that support you, stay active, stay healthy, and I think even with diabetes you can have an amazing life. And with the organizations I can get involved, I feel a lot better. I learned so much, and I even started a website to help other foreigners. So we have a little English website where we write down how to access the national insurance system, which insulin pumps are available here, what CGMs are available, how much they cost, how much insulin costs here especially, and we write down all the information. So it's still very basic, but it helps other people as well to find information easier than what I had to do at the start. So I hope it will help many people. Just thank you very much for the opportunity to talk, and just I really hope that other people can see that you can be happy with diabetes as well. There are many inspiring people. Like, what helped me the most was seeing Olympians in all different kinds of sports. They go to the Olympics with diabetes and they win, and that's amazing. Or in Canada, there people are pilots now. There's people that work in the police that are diabetics, and they don't let it bother them, and that's amazing and inspiring. So I'm not at that level, but maybe one day I will be, or even just a normal life. It's just, you can be happy. So.